Hey guys, 8-Minute Q.E.D here. In today's video, we're going to learn what a quadratic equation is and how to find the roots or solutions of it. Quadratic equation is an algebraic equation that has a degree of 2. If you haven't got a clue about what a degree is, my last video on sketching straight lines would be your best option to go to. Let's have a look at this example. We have x squared plus 7x plus 12 is equal to 0. The first way we're going to use is factorization. And the particular technique that we will be using here is the cross method. We usually notate the coefficients and constants of quadratic equation as a, b, and c. A and b are coefficients of x squared and x respectively, so in this case, a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 7. And the alphabet c is used to represent a constant term, which is 12 in this case. Now think of two numbers that multiply to become a, which is 1, and think of two numbers that multiply to become c, which is 12. Any combination is fine for now because we need to do some trial and errors to obtain the correct combination. So I'll choose 1 and 1 for a, and I'm just going to write them vertically on the left hand side, and I'll choose 2 and 6 for c, and they will go on the right hand side like this. Then we simply cross multiply these numbers, write the product next to it, and add them up. The whole idea of this method is to obtain b, which is 7, when we add these two products. In our case, we got 8, so we need to try again. It's perfectly normal to have multiple trial and errors until you get a hang of it, as it will take time and effort to get used to this technique. And here is the correct combination. Now once you've got the correct combination, this is how factorization is done. Since the product of two brackets is equal to 0, one of the two must be 0. So if x plus 3 is equal to 0, then x becomes negative 3. And if x plus 4 is equal to 0, then x is equal to negative 4. Therefore, minus 3 and minus 4 are the roots of this quadratic equation. Now moving on to the next method, we have a very simple quadratic formula. Thanks to the work of our great mathematicians, we have a nice and easy formula that allows us to get the roots right away. And this is the formula. A, b, and c are the coefficients and constant that I have mentioned before. So in this case, if we sub a is equal to 1, b is equal to 7, and c is equal to 12, this is what we get. We get x is equal to minus 3 and minus 4. We get the same set of solutions. The last method of solving quadratic equation is what we call completing the square method. As the name suggests, the whole idea of this technique involves converting the quadratic equation we have into a perfect square. So if we go back to our equation, first we move constant to the other side. We need to convert the left hand side into a perfect square, such as a plus b all squared. And since a plus b squared is equal to a plus b times a plus b, and if I expand this bracket, I get a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Now I'll put the two expressions parallel to each other for you, so you can see the difference clearly. If we compare the two expressions and try to figure out the missing numbers, so x takes the place of a. If you look at the second term, 7 is equal to 2b. Therefore, b is equal to 7 over 2, and that makes the number that we need to add at the end to complete the square is equal to b squared, which is equal to 49 over 4. So to put it simply, just divide the coefficient of x by 2 and square the number and add that number on both left hand side and the right hand side. The reason why we need to add the two numbers on both sides is to keep both sides equal to each other. Then we get We now have to factorize the left-hand side to get the perfect square. Then take the square roots on both sides. We get x is equal to minus 3 or minus 4. Now, I have brought some practice questions for you to try. Pause the video and try them. Hit the play button when you're ready. That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Q.E.